In this video, I'm going to go over some notes using dimensional analysis. And we have in these tables here, you can see some of the conversions that we would hope that you would know or you can learn. Like hopefully you know 60 seconds in 1 minute. And then also there's a conversions table where probably ones that we would give you because we don't expect you to memorize these. So I'm going to go through all these questions for anyone that was absent or wants a quick review of this. The key thing is try to work your way through what units you're trying to get rid of and then use your tables to help you with the actual numbers. All right. Other than that, it's just once the setup is done, it's just going through and using a calculator to find what the new answer would be. All right. So we'll kind of start pretty straightforward and we'll get more complicated as we go. All right, so the first one, it says find the number of minutes in 3 weeks. So I'm going to start with 3 weeks. And the first thing I'm trying to do is to get rid of weeks. So I'm going to put 1 week down here. And I'm hoping we know that there are 7 days in 1 week. All right? The whole point of writing this is that I'm going to multiply straight across. And so when I do that, I end up crossing out my units of weeks. Okay. Now I don't want days. It's asking for minutes. So I'm going to keep going. All right. So going down there, I'm trying to get rid of days. So when I think about the conversion for day, I'm thinking about how many hours are in a day. So 24 hours are in 1 day. And again, that will allow me to cross out the units for days. Again, I want minutes. So I'm going to keep going and put 1 hour down here. And there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So once this setup is done, to get my answer, you'll notice that all my numbers in the denominator are just ones. So I'm just going to be multiplying 3 times 7 times 24 times 60. All right, so I'm going to multiply in my calculator 3 times 7 times 24 times 60 to get my answer of 30,240 minutes. So my answer is 30,240 minutes. Okay, that's the first one. Let's go number 2. Find the number of ounces in 6 gallons. So I'm going to start with 6 gallons. And I'm trying to get rid of that unit for gallons. So I'm going to put a gallon down here. Now looking in your table, right, you got a couple of gallons here. I do see this one here that says 1 gallon is 3.79 liters. We're not doing anything with liters, so I'm going to ignore that one. We will use that one in a different one. So I'm going to use this one here that says 1 gallon is the same as 4 quarts. So I'm going to write 4 quarts. Now I'm trying to get rid of quarts. So going back to my conversion table, all right, when I look for the next one, 1 quart is the same as 2 pints. All right, I'm going to try to get rid of pints, and I see 1 pint is the same as 2 cups. I'm trying to get rid of cups so I can get to ounces, and our 1 cup is the same as 8 ounces. Now, just like in number 1, all of my numbers in my denominator are just 1. So I don't need to worry about any division, and all of these units are going to cross out and leave me with just ounces, right? Ultimately, I'm trying to end this with the unit of ounces. So the math I'll do in a calculator is 6 times 4 times 2 times 2 times 8. And when you do that, you get 768 ounces. Okay, number 3, find the inches in 2 miles. So I'm going to start with 2 miles. I'm trying to look in my table to get rid of miles. All right, and I have 1 mile is the same as 5,280 feet. So 5,280 feet. Now I don't want feet, right? So I'm going to try to get rid of feet. I want inches, and we have 12 inches is in 1 foot. All right, so again, just like the first 2, I'm just going to be multiplying 2 times 5,280 times 12, which will give me my answer of 126,720 inches. Now again, I know I'm not showing you this in the calculator, but please feel free to pause and confirm in your calculator that 2 times 5,280 times 12 is this number. Okay, number 4. find the number of miles if you're given inches. So this is actually going backwards from number 3. So we're actually starting with 87,654 inches. All right, and I'm trying to get rid of inches. And this is the first one that's different because when I do this, I actually have 12 inches in 1 foot. So you'll notice I'm still putting inches in the bottom for this one because I'm trying to get rid of that units. But now I don't have a 1 in the denominator. I actually have a number that's not 1 in the denominator. So I'll show you what that's going to do. And then I'm trying to get rid of feet, but they're 5,280 feet in 1 mile. All right, so in this, in terms of this question, right, I'm still getting rid of all of my units to finish with miles, right? But because my numbers that are not 1 are in the denominator, I'm going to be going to my calculator to do 87,654 divided by 12 first. 87,654 divided by 12. All right, and then after that, I'll take this number, 7304.5, and divide that by my other number, which was 5,280. All right, so you notice I'm only doing division because they're both in the denominator. So this is approximately 1.4 miles. Okay, so again, just keep in mind where the numbers are. If they're in the top, you're multiplying. If they're in the bottom, you're dividing. All right, number 5. A gas station is charging $2.79 per gallon. So this is what we call a rate. When you see that word per, that tells you that you're going to have a rate, a fraction. So I have 1 gallon in the denominator and $2.79 in the numerator. Okay, so it's asking for the price of a liter. So I'm still going to keep it with dollars, but now I'm trying to get rid of gallons. So I'm going to put gallons up here to cross it out, and I want to end up with per liter. Okay, so when I look at my table, right, I mentioned there's gallons happening in a couple of spots, but I'm back to this one where it says 1 gallon is the same as 3.79 liters. So 1 gallon is the same as 3.79 liters. Okay, so I'm going to do my crossing out of units, and then because we have the fact that 3.79 is in the denominator, I'll be dividing 2.79 divided by, 2.79 divided by 3.79 to get my answer in dollars per liter, which is actually approximately 74 cents per liter. Okay, so that's how we do the ones where we have division with rates. All right, let's do number 6. Number 6 says a swimmer is swimming 125 yards in 4 minutes. All right, so I'm going to write down 125 yards per 4 minutes. Okay, and we're trying to figure out how many meters she will swim in 70 seconds. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to first figure this out per 1 second. All right, and then what I'll do is once I have it per 1 second, if I want it in 70 seconds, I will multiply my number times 70. That will give me the distance in meters that she'll swim in 70 seconds, okay? So I'm going to first get rid of my minutes so I can get it in seconds. All right, and there are 60 seconds in 1 minute, so that's going to cross out my minutes. All right, and then I need to deal with going from yards to meters, and this is going to be a lot, okay? So the first thing up is that we're going to get rid of yards, and there are 3 feet in 1 yard. Okay, after we do that, I want to get rid of feet by saying there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Then I want to get rid of inches. All right, and this one is in the table, right here. 1 inch is the same as 2.54 centimeters. And then I want to get centimeters to become meters, and there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. All right, so again, this is a lot. Okay, now my answer that I get here is not going to be the answer, right? It's going to be per in 1 second how far is she going. So I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to type in 125 divided by 4 And then I'm going to do divided by 60. So 31.25 divided by 60. Let me clear some of these out of here. Okay. All right, then I got this number. Actually, let's see if I can do it all together. I'll do more fractions. Times. Then we'll do a fraction. I'll do, let's see. I already did divided by 60. Let's do times 3 over 1. Then we'll do times 12 over 1. Okay. Then we'll do times 2.54 over 1. And then I'll do times 1 over 100. All right, let me get this into a decimal. So here is how far she's going to go in 1 second, 0.47625. So approximately 4.48. So approximately 0.48 meters in 1 second. So I'm going to multiply this number by 70. All right, so I'm going to put 0.47625 times 70. So she's going to go 33.3375 meters. So 33.3375 meters in 70 seconds. All right, that's it for number 6. Okay, 3 more to go, then we're done. Number 7. How many miles will a person run during a 5K? And a 5K is a 5-kilometer race. All right, so we have 5 kilometers. And we're trying to figure out how many miles. So I'm going to get rid of kilometers and get miles. All right, if I go up here to my table, it says 1 kilometer is the same as 0.621 miles. So 1 kilometer, same as 0.621 miles. So if I multiply 5 times 0.621, that will give me my answer of 3.105 miles. All right, number 8. Should be 101,000. There we go. Okay, so a family pool holds 101,000 gallons of water. How many cubic meters is this? So I'm going to put 101,000 gallons. Trying to get rid of gallons and finish with cubic meters. And that one is in the table given. It says, let's find it. Hold on, where is it? Here it is. The last one. 1 cubic meter is the same as 264.2 gallons. So 1 cubic meter is 264.2. So again, this is going to cross out my gallons, but because the 264.2 is on the bottom, I'm going to divide. So 101,000 divided by 264.2. Uh-oh, get rid of that. Delete. There we go. 382.29 approximately. So approximately 382.29 cubic meters. You could write out cubic meters if you wanted, or put meters cubed. That's fine. And then last one. The average Kincaid student is in class 240 minutes per one day. We're going to try to figure out how many hours per week. So it's your call on how you want to set this up, or the order in which you go. I'm going to get it to be per week. So I'm going to get rid of days and do weeks. So 1 week is 7 days. So that will cross out days and get me per week. And then I want to deal with the minutes to be hours. So I'm getting rid of minutes and I'm doing hours instead. And that's 60 minutes in 1 hour. All right, which will allow me to then do my math to get in minutes per day. So I'm going to do 240 times 7 and then divide by 60. 240 times 7 divided by 60, which is 28 hours per week. I'm sorry. Why did I write minutes per day? My bad. 28 hours per week. Let me show you that since I just flubbed it. Let me show you. So cross out days, cross out minutes. So you're left with hours per week. That's on me. My bad, guys. All right. Hopefully this will help you with your dimensional analysis and especially with your work in science classes as well. Come see us if you have any concerns.